Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 6th of November. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to achieve trading signals. Right, well, we obviously had a very interesting night. Trump won, and we have basically gone straight back to the highs. I've been saying for weeks that November is historically bullish, and well, here we are. So this could be the second high of a double top, but at the moment I'm not seeing an awful lot of reason to think that it would be. I am thinking we might see a retracement fairly soon, and that's just because we're very overbought on the hourly chart, but we haven't got any negative divergence at the moment. One thing, of course, that's only one of the pieces of news out this week. The second piece of news, of course, is the Fed. Waiting to see how that develops. So we will see. All right. NQ heading back up into the highs, hasn't quite made it yet. Again, looking a bit overbought on the chart here. This could be setting up the second high of a double top, but this double top here is failing. Likely to see a retest of the high, and we're likely to do the main retest of the high on NQ that I was looking for, and the one on RTY if we haven't done it already. On RTY, wow. That's what's saying it looked like a flag. We have gone back and made a new high with a lot of confidence. Now, we haven't got this. These results aren't in on the RTH charts yet, but obviously that's strong, and we're likely to have retested that high. We're likely to retest that high I was talking about at the open. YM has gone back up, made a higher high. Again, looking eye-wateringly overbought on the hourly chart. Might be setting up for retracement soonish, but we will see. DAX and the SDX, these ones have been more muted, partially because the dollar's well up overnight and the euro, of course, is not. So we'll see how this goes, but at the moment, we haven't actually seen an awful lot of action on the European indices yet. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Right, first thing to say is, one issue I had a few weeks ago is we still had open daily sell signals. Those have gone now. We're likely to see a conviction break back over the daily middle band today, and we could even see the upper band today. So the middle band is at 58.50, which is currently 85 points below. Could possibly see a back test of that today, but there's not much reason to think about it anymore. Okay, same exactly goes. We've now got a weak RSI 5 buy signal fixed on the. It is pretty weak, but nonetheless, I'm leaning towards that making target. All the old sell signals on SPY and SPX have significantly made target already, so we shall see. I'm no longer thinking a head and shoulders is forming the overnight action unless it is immediately given back in the next half an hour or so. Much of it is more. We're really setting up for a high retest. So that's what I'm expecting to see. All right, looking at SPY, same sort of story. 15-minute charts. I was saying yesterday that this was a pretty nice looking bull flag, and that's going to make target today. So we will see how that goes. But double bottom I called, played out beautifully. This flag played out beautifully. And on the bigger picture, just have a quick look at where we are. This is the bigger picture here, and if we're not going to see a big decline here, then I draw in this trend line here, and I've got the resistance trend line. Well, it's significantly higher. I think we may be about to go and hit this trend line here, which is now at about the 6100 area. I think we may hit that within the next month or so, and that would be the obvious next big target to the upside. All right, looking at the cues. Picture is not there at all, but we may find this low gives us something. But possible resistance not far above here, but not an awful lot to work with on that at the moment. On Dire, next obvious target within this pattern here would be this trend line here. Again, not a huge amount higher, but I'd be thinking in terms of 437 or so before we test that one and see whether or not it's going to hold. If not, I'd be looking at the one above. All right, let's have a look at IWM. IWM On the daily chart, we're about to come back and at long last retest this high here at 227.85. There is a possibility that we're going to go back and retest the 2022 high at 234.66. In fact, I'd be given better than even odds that we're going to see that by Christmas. Because it's been a long time coming. In terms of the pattern setup here, I've got trendline resistance for significantly after that, maybe at about in the 238 area at the moment. DAX and STX, not an awful lot to look at. DAX didn't really move much overnight, but I expect it to get back over its daily middle band. And this head and shoulders on Nikkei, which is actually pretty nice, doesn't look as though it's ever going to aument or anything. So we shall see. All right, I wanted to have a particularly close look at the dollar and bonds today because I've got things to say on both. Dollar, obviously, I was saying it hadn't tested my ideal high. We've gone back, rejected, and this flag, which was a beautiful flag channel, has played out and made the target and gone considerably higher. Bonds have reacted negatively and we have continued down. I've got possible trendline support now down about the 104, 114.16 area, but I've got a few things to say about both of these on the bigger picture. Let's have a look at both. All right, looking at the dollar made it to my trend line and went through it. This isn't a flag, but I'm thinking we may well see the full retracement up to 106.38, and I'm thinking that we may be forming an overall flag here, bear flag. And I was mentioning a possibility that if we went through this trend line, then we could see significantly higher. And what I was talking about was this. Hang on, wait a second. What I was talking about was the fact that we might be forming this as a bear flag, and this actually wouldn't be a bad bear flag at all. Now, this would be the channel option. There are other options here, but I've got that up in about the 107.5 area. I think that is potentially doable. And we will see how it goes. Do I have a better resistance trend line? Hang on, I'm just going to experiment a little. Bear with me a moment. Yeah, I do. All right, that is where the possible trend line might be. This would be the best current available option. That's significantly higher at 109.5. We will see how that goes. I don't know if it's got the juice to get there, but I think it might. So we will see. All right. So I'm just I'll leave that on the chart actually. I've got more to say on bonds. Now, I'm sure it hasn't escaped any of your notice that we've given back an awful lot of this decline, which basically was the inflation is going down and interest rates are going to go down decline. And we've given most of that back. We had a nice looking double bottom here. That's now made the first target, and it's almost, well, actually, no, it has made the extended target at 44.5. The question is, are we going to go back and take the cheese, so to speak? And the cheese would be retest this high here at 49.97. Now, we haven't broken up from this yet, and this, I think, the obvious read on this is that this is a bull flag. Now, how exactly could we go and test this in a situation where inflation is now looking reasonably under control, and where we have interest rates being pulled down by the Fed? And the reason I'm thinking we might make it is that obviously the Trump spending plans are not going to do anything to help the deficit, just the opposite actually. And I think it may well be. We had a situation in the UK about 18 months ago when an incoming government presented its spending plans and the bond market tanked. And yields went up enormously because people were wondering whether they'd ever get their money back. I'm wondering if we might be about to see the retest here because people are wondering the same about US debt. If we see that, I would be thinking we might see a potential double top there, or potentially it could continue higher. So is there scope to continue higher? Yeah, potentially. I'm going to have a look for larger potential patterns, but if the bond market starts getting antsy about whether or not it's going to get its money back, then all bets are off. and this could get very interesting. So watching that, but at the moment we have a flag. It's nice. We're about to test resistance on it. If it breaks up, then this could get very interesting. So watching that with interest, watching the US dollar with interest after this breakup, we will see. But I'm liking, we're still on a weak RSI 14 sell signal here, but on the dollar, the RSI 5 sell signal made target, which is the main one I look at. This one here, well, if it goes up high enough, it's going to fail. So we shall see. All right, great. Let's have a look at CL. Now, looking at the Trump energy plans, he's planning to boost fossil fuels. He's quite keen on nuclear, which I have to say I'm very keen on as well. But basically, it's going to be pump as much, get as much out of the ground as possible. It's hard to see how that would be bullish for oil prices. If the dollar's going to go up more, then well, it's not that bullish for oil prices either. I've still got my target in the 63.57 retest area, and I like it. I'm thinking that's got a very good chance of getting made. NG, I'm still wondering whether we're going to see a low retest on that. And at the moment, the market's not doing a great deal to contradict me. We shall see. Metals, these are going down. That may continue for a while, particularly if we see a strong dollar rally. This is, I haven't drawn it in, but this was a head and shoulders, which has pretty much made target now. On SI, this no longer looks like a bull flag, and the obvious next target is the possible head and shoulder neckline, which I've got in the 30.4 area. On copper, I drew in this beautiful bear flag yesterday. This is a perfect bear flag channel, and it's broken down and it's made the target of the retest of this low. The question is it going to go lower? But there is a chance that this is the second low of a double bottom here, and we will see how that goes. All right, looking at KC. KC trying to break up over resistance here. SB almost back at the retest of the lows. If we go and retest the low, that will not be the second low of a double bottom. It is too large. On CC, first double top formed, broke down, rejected back up to the high. We've now got a second double top, which is thinking of breaking down. Still got, we had, this obviously fell back up at good support at the new weekly pivot and the monthly pivot, and this is hitting that same support. It may well reject back up again. If not, this would have a target down about the 64.20 area, I think. On ZW, this has been fairly weak overnight, but I'm mainly watching soy at the moment. On soy, we're pretty close to retesting this low again. This could set up potentially a smaller double bottom. But I am wondering about a reversal back up here on grains generally. On CT, almost back at a retest of the low. This could very much be the second low of a double bottom. This one would not be oversized. And I think we've got some positive divergence on the daily chart. Lumber, nice looking double top, and we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. If this breaks down, then this would have a target at about the 558 error, I think. Live cattle is still trying to break down for a double top without any enthusiasm at all. If it makes target, I've got that target range in the 160.5 to 181.875 area. Looking at lean hogs, sell signal made target, tiny little double top made target, coming back to test monthly pivot support, may well hold that. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions. Yeah, what a day. Any targets for the metals? Well, actually, yes. Let's have a look. I do have some things. Well, I mean, this is the first real sign of weakness we've seen on metals in weeks. But I've got a few comments to make about that, and I have been saying this in the bigger picture webinars. But yeah, I got stuff to say. One, we've got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed on gold. We're likely to be breaking down below the daily middle band today. We've got, we haven't got a strong target lower in terms of a head and shoulder target and so on, but there is a target definitely to go down further. RSI 5 sell signal fixed, and that is a nice one. On silver, no current divergence, no obvious topping pattern down here. But I'm wondering, I've got two big head and shoulder necklines, and a head and shoulder neckline is, of course, a serious level of support. I'm wondering about a move down to the 30.5 area. It might hold that and might go lower. On copper, I'm actually kind of liking the upside here. So if that does turn out to be a double bottom, that wouldn't be disappointing at all. I'm not sure how much further down they've got, but this RSI 5 sell signal is one that I would tend to take seriously. And if we're breaking down below the daily middle band, then this is a good opportunity to do that. If we were to go and reach the rising support, I would have a target for that in about the 25.80 area. So we shall see. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap, guys. Should be an interesting day. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of pullback. And maybe a 60-minute sell signal. There are possible double tops here, but to be honest, the market's going to have to go down quite a bit before I'm going to start taking that seriously. It's certainly going to need to get back below the monthly pivot at 57.96. At the moment, I'm leaning towards 6100 as a target by Christmas, potentially higher, and I'm liking the upside. November is historically bullish. The market is liking a Trump win. But, as I said, we've got one more piece of news. What's the Fed going to do? So it's going to be very interesting to see what they say, but I don't think it's going to massively affect the general mood. And I think the chances of seeing a big retracement before Christmas are now far smaller today than they were yesterday. All right, great. Everyone take care. Catch you later.